Cancer, I got a message that you're about to see a premonition come to life. We're looking at the next 72 hours here in the lead up to the Scorpio full moon. However, this message is timeless. Whenever you come to it, just pay attention to the signs, the synchronicities over the 72 hours before you, and it'll give you a clue as to the energy that is coming into your field of awareness and what the next cycle is going to be about for you. This is for any significant Cancer placement, or if you're a Capricorn rising, which makes you a Cancer descendant. So we're going to dive into this a little bit further. I feel like you had some kind of premonition. This premonition was about a soulmate. I feel like this is somebody that you have some kind of connection with. This is somebody that you've dealt with before. You'll know who this person is because they tend to sort of be a little bit of, how can I put this? They like to brag, they like to come around and sort of flaunt, what they got going for them. Maybe in some cases you feel like this person rubs it in your face a little bit, but I do feel like this is somebody you feel very close to. At the same time, I also feel like there's something you've dealt with in relation to this person before that's been a bit of like a repeat skip in a record where you're sort of tired of dealing with the same old thing, the same old circular argument, the same old sticking point over and over and over again. Whatever you do, Cancer, don't back down. Okay, don't back down. But I do feel like this is a connection that is important to you. And I also feel like where you would be kind of prone to like block this or maybe throw in the towel, that maybe you should actually invest in opening up what could be quite a transformational experience. You may have been sensing that something was about to radically transform in your life. And I feel like it's the arrival of this person on the scene, wanting to enter into some kind of dialogue with you. It feels like that's what this is about. But you could sort of like cut the opportunity short because of past experience and also just the manner that this person shows up. Okay. But there's something here where I feel like there's something valuable that comes through this exchange. This is something that's meant to go down. You may have even had like a dream that this person was going to reach out to you, communicate to you, maybe tell you something. Maybe this is what you don't anticipate. Maybe there's something you've always sensed this person felt, but they never actually like vocalized it, came up and out with it. They're going to tell you now. Okay. You might not expect this when you initially have this person come towards you. So over the next 72 hours, you may start to be picking up synchronicities in relation to this person, or there might be something that goes down on your path that gives you a premonition where you're like, oh, that's their energy. I know that's their energy coming toward me. Okay. And you may be sort of more prone to be on the defense here, where I feel like you need to like let that down. You should invest in this exchange, whatever it involves. I feel like it's beneficial. Okay, that's just like the initial download coming in here. Let's see what the cards have to say. Yeah, it's an opportunity for you to come into a place of alignment, understanding. It's also an arrival point for you. I feel like the arrival point for you has everything to do with you really like representing yourself and having witnessed by this person. See, I do see that you would be like more prone to kind of like block this energy. I do feel like your heart's been manhandled in a situation, or there's just a lot that you hold there that could want you moving into a self-protective place if you tap more into your like fear around the situation. But I actually feel that if you really can trust yourself to be in a place of openness with this individual, you'll be surprised what you find there. What you find there is some cause for celebration. What you find there helps to rectify where there's been that heartache or that wounding. Okay, so I feel like there's something deeply healing that's happening here in this situation. This could even be with somebody that you felt like played with your heart, like your heart was all on the line with them, but you felt like they just sort of viewed you as a plaything, perhaps. Maybe you feel like they played with your heart in a very callous sort of a way. You could think that this person's for everybody and you just wanted them to only have eyes for you. That might help you tap into who this person could be here. They could be a fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But I do think that it's worth it, okay? It's worth it to entertain this conversation, even though I know you feel in the past this person did some sneaky stuff, okay? I do recognize here that there's been heartache in this situation. Somebody did something sneaky, okay? They might have acted rashly. They didn't think it through. They didn't think of the end result. Maybe not how it would affect you, okay? But I feel like you should let this energy come towards you with the Queen of Spades and the light here. You're able to exercise discernment. You're not going to be pulled out of your center, out of your truth, like maybe you could have been swayed before. You have a certain clarity and understanding here, all right? This could be an old lover. This could be somebody you used to be romantically involved with that you feel played with your heart. But see, it comes in again with the theory of 11 here. There is an opportunity for you all to come into alignment now. And it could be an alignment that's a new level of understanding. It could be an alignment that totally changes up the game, how you want to invest your energy moving forward. You might be surprised that there is a way to sort of mend what happened here. I do feel like this is something that's meant to happen at this time, okay? This is like the creme de la creme of like spiritual experiences, whatever is going down here. I think it's going to have that feeling to you like, wow, I never thought that I would find myself in this position to actually be sitting across from this person and having a completely different understanding than I had before. Or maybe you never thought that this person would get this real with you, but it does have these kind of vibes, okay? It really does have these kind of vibes. And I do feel like there's something about this person, like they feel like home to you, you know? And maybe that's something that really confused you in the past. Like, you've always felt like home to me. Like, how could you not recognize that in me? I see that in you. How could you not recognize that in me? That's kind of how it's coming through. You might be surprised. You might be surprised by what comes through. All right. I think it's important to let whatever wants to come in here come up and out. Any clues about this, about what might be opened up here, expressed here, shared here for Cancer? I do feel like you're getting a premonition first, though, before this comes in. Like, you're going to sense this person's approach, you know? You can feel them approaching. And for some of you, you had a dream about this. They came through in a dream very distinctly. Yeah, this is somebody that you've been involved with before. Okay, because we have the King of Spades energy also coming out in the light. All right, both of you are coming out in the light. There might be like a new level of understanding that wasn't present before. That air sign energy out here, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We have your energy out here. And we have fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, okay? There's a new understanding here, something seen that wasn't seen before, and it can be the cure for what has been a real disappointment. It can turn around a disappointing experience if you allow the opportunity for this communication to take place. if you invest yourself in this process, because I feel like it's not always going to be the most comfortable experience, you know what I mean? But there's something beneficial that comes out of it, that when you get to the other side of it, you're really going to feel like this was meant to be, like this needed to go down. Okay. And with this, we got the Queen of Diamonds in the shadow here. Okay. And on the other side, we have the Five of Clubs coming up in the light. Okay. So we also have the King of Clubs here coming up in the shadow. All right. So this could be sort of like the basis of the matter. You could be dealing with a bit of a combative situation, maybe in relation to who this person sort of like put you in competition with. That's sort of like how it's coming out. You may have felt like this person put you in competition with a Queen of Diamonds, you know? Maybe somebody who had like some kind of sway socially, some kind of sway that puts you in a really like compromising position here. I also feel like you sensed that this person was only interested in this King of Clubs, Jack of Clubs energy. Okay. He at the time thought he was a king, but I think you really recognized him as a Jack. Like, you recognize that this person wasn't really stepping into their power, wasn't stepping into that king energy. And I think when they were in that place, they were sort of like, again, there's sort of like this sort of like bragging kind of energy around them. Like, I do feel like there's something they flaunted here. They flaunted. Ooh, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. Yep, 11:55 on the clock. They flaunted in front of their social group, you know. They flaunted something here. It could be money they had, status they had, somebody they were hooking up with here, somebody they wanted to put you in competition with. Okay, maybe even somebody that they gave everything to that you always wanted from this person. Could have been a Queen of Diamonds. Okay, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You could be a Capricorn rising, and that would make you a Cancer descendant. You may feel like this person always had you competing for their time, their energy, their attention. They involved other people in the mix. They were very flirtatious, you know, and that is something that didn't sit right with you. All right. But I do feel like something's coming up about that. Yeah, this person's letting down their guard here. They're letting down their guard. Where they were really blocked communicating about this, they're letting down their guard and they're expressing something to you here. And it has something to do with them recognizing sort of like it's coming through like their own delusion, the way it blocked them from really recognizing maybe how they were hurting your heart. That's kind of how it's coming through. They recognize that they hurt your heart, that they treated your heart carelessly in some way. And I do feel like that doesn't sit right with them, and they want to be accountable for it. Okay, so this looks like a really healing communication that wants to come in here. It might mean moving through some kind of like tricky territory, some sort of heavy emotions. I do see that. I do feel like there's points that you'll bump up against where it could be activating. You'd want to put up your guard, but I do feel like it is beneficial for you to have this exchange, right? Let's see what comes in here. I do think that Spirit's going to be sort of like preparing you for this, though, and just sending you signs that this is coming your way. Like, you're going to hear from this person soon. Yeah, there's some kind of blessing coming in here. And I do feel with the full moon here, there is some kind of vision that you're having here. Yeah, there may be actually a vision you had, again, like something you saw before. Maybe you saw yourself like just you and this person out camping somewhere out in nature together. I don't know, little, campfire by the beach and just sitting there, sort of talking it out with each other, you know, talking it out with each other. There may be something that you're actually doing here. You might even, I don't know why I got this, but you might even be, you know, doing some kind of like clearing ritual with each other too. If you're on that kind of path, maybe you're both very spiritual people. Maybe you have what others would consider sort of an eccentric kind of spirituality. Maybe you do walk more of the old ways, as far as how you express your path. That's how you show up in your earth walk. So I don't know, maybe you're having a clearing out discussion around the fire, you know, and you're releasing stuff to the fire to be cleansed, you know, of all the old, you know, heavy energy. I would say if you got somebody who's open to that and you have that kind of connection, that would be a good way to have this communication come through. But I do feel like maybe you're sort of sending out this energy too with the full moon. Maybe you're doing a lot of clearing work around this connection. You may be having a good burn, you know what I'm saying? You're like writing stuff out and you're offering it up to the fire and you're offering up herbs to the flat fire and you're just doing a lot of good, you know, smoke cleansing here. I think that if you are doing that with the full moon, there's something there. You're going to set a certain cycle in motion here. You might be surprised who picks up that signal and what it brings in, but I think whatever it brings in, it activates a new vision. It brings a blessing. You may even get some kind of vision on full moon after doing this sort of like cleansing work, spiritual cleansing work that illuminates this blessing coming your way. And what we got here, we got a couple cards came out. Oh yeah, I'm telling you, man, there's something that's balancing out here for you. It actually brings your North Star into view. There's something here. It is meant to happen. There can be a spinning of fate into destiny here through the balancing out of a connection. All right, I see it. Number 14 coming in with the energy of joy, also temperance there. And on the other side here, we have number 17 coming in with higher consciousness. Gotu kola and hibiscus coming in here. This is really about you balancing something out with somebody, healing something, alchemizing all the heavy energy, letting it go, coming into a place of joy because there's this healing that's being experienced here. And what I really feel is this may be a gift that you're sort of giving yourself first, like through all this integrative release work you're doing, spiritual cleansing work you're doing. And there may be something that you have a vision for. Maybe you always felt like, I just really wish that I could have, you know, brought this level of respect to sort of a clearing process, healing process with this person. I don't like the way that ended there. I don't like the fact that we never got to clear this out in a way that felt like there was, you know, respectful space held around it. And you may be surprised. You may be surprised what your higher consciousness called in there with that hope. You may see what used to be a wish upon a star actually coming into view for you here. I feel like that's something that is really playing out with your download here. There's something here that is actually a premonition come to life. I feel that it brings you a lot of joy and it's alchemizing a lot of heavy energy and it gives you an opportunity to reclaim your sun, you know, come back into alignment with a certain sense of happiness, you know. And I also feel like tapping into the joy of your connection with this person, however it transforms through this process, because I do feel like there's a sense of higher consciousness that's activated here. So there's a willingness to invest in the healing process, no matter how it sort of plays out, understanding that however it plays out, there's something that brings joy there, all right? Let's get goddess energy coming in here for you. Look at this. Yamanja, golden opportunity. Okay, so yes, there is something that is being cleansed here and it's being transformed, right? And this is an important doorway that's being presented to you. And all you have to do is open it up and walk on through, and it will transform everything. It brings a golden opportunity. So this may have been a door that you closed in the past, but you're meant to revisit this, all right? And where you do feel like kind of guarded or self-protective, see if you can soften it a little bit around this, because I do feel like it brings a valuable opportunity your way, okay? Let's see what this is, Cancer. We're going to get you a goddess energy to tap into, to work with, to kind of help harmonize you with the energy of this Scorpio full moon that's coming in on the 12th. Yeah, you got solace, bodies of water. Isn't that interesting? Because of that vision of like being near the coast and having a campfire going. I don't know. Maybe that's really playing out for some of you out there. But I do feel like you can find a lot of peace and reflection by bodies of water at this time leading up to the full moon. By all means, if you have the ability to be by the water, by the lake, by the ocean at full moon, or by a river, you know, any source of natural water, I think it could be very cleansing for you. You know, I feel like it can help you with any release process that you're trying to integrate with the old cycle on a very deep emotional level, okay? Let's get you a goddess here, though, to guide you through this transformational doorway you're heading through. Wow. Look at that. Coven Tina. Purification. So see, look at that. There is an opportunity that comes through here. It's an opportunity for peace and love and healing and integration and transformation. And the true gold at the end of the rainbow. It gives you a miraculous chalice here, okay? Big Ace of Cups energy, and this is something that does very much feel sanctioned by spirit. I also feel it's like this sign that comes in that lets you know you're almost to land ahead, you know. There's the first signs of new life coming in here after a long time of just sort of trusting source, feeling like you're drifting out to sea, not sure when you would come into port. And this is like the last stages of this before this meeting takes place. I feel like it's a really powerful time of healing and integration for you. So focus on just clearing out those last bit of stagnant emotions, you know, letting yourself just engage in any kind of personal spiritual cleansing rituals. You may want to work with fire. You may want to work with water. There's a real beautiful cleansing ritual you can do in direct relation to Yamanja, and that is to get together white flowers and just really hold the intention that those white flowers are charged up with what you're ready to give over to source to be transformed, and then you can release it to the ocean. Specifically when working with Yamanja, but you could do that even working with the sweet waters, with the rivers, with the streams. Then you're working with a little bit of that more Oshun kind of energy, but many rivers lead to the same source, okay? So there's something about that, just working with symbolic acts to just do the last bit of this emotional cleansing, because there's a major transformation in the area of love and peace that's coming in a very important connection and a date of destiny that I feel you've already had a premonition about, that you're about to see come to life.